Chris. Today we're going to talk about the micro coaxial infrared helicopters. This one is the Deluxe Super Mini helicopter. In the box you get the helicopter and the transmitter, which is infrared. It has throttle on the left stick, and then yaw left and right, which is spin left and right, the nose goes left and right, and then forward and back, which is controlled by this little propeller in the back. So if you push forward on the stick, it goes forward, push back on the stick, it goes backwards. So first thing you want to do when you take it out of the box, take a little screwdriver, and if any of these blades are real loose, tighten them up, because if they're loose, you'll lose a lot of lift. But you don't want them so tight that they can't find the place where they want to sit once it spins up, because if they're too tight, they won't ever level out and it'll shake a lot. So just take a little screwdriver, tighten them up enough so that when you hold it sideways, they don't move, but if you tap it, they fall. This one's actually a little bit too tight, so I'm going to loosen up a little bit. Alright, a couple other things about these. When I first got this one, the rotors didn't spin very well, so this was held together by one screw and some tape. So I took my screwdriver and took the canopy apart, and then once I got this apart, I just used 3-in-1 oil. I took a toothpick, I dipped it in, and I just touched the dot at the top and at the bottom, and it made it spin a lot more free. And that helped with the trimming, because there wasn't much drag, and it made it fly a little bit longer on a charge. The transmitter takes 6 AA batteries, and that's how the helicopter is charged. There's a little cable in here, plugs into the bottom of the helicopter, and you turn this on. The light will turn green while it's charging. When it's done charging, the light goes off. If this red light starts flashing while it's charging, that means that your battery is going dead, and your transmitter, you have to replace the batteries. One set of batteries usually charge this about 10 to 15 times. Okay, so one other thing, sometimes when you crash these, all of a sudden they just spin out of control when you try to fly them, and no matter how much trim you give them, you just can't get it straight. So what happens sometimes is, if you look, these motors are just kind of force fitted in the plastic here, and they might have a little bit of glue on, but it's not enough to really keep them secure in a hard crash. So sometimes what will happen is the motor, especially the one for this bottom gear, will slip down, and the gear won't be meshing well with the little pinion gear on the motor. So you actually have to take your finger and push this motor back into position, and then you'll see that the gears are meshing like they're supposed to. The other thing to check if your helicopter is just spinning wildly out of control is to make sure that your batteries are in good shape, because if your battery in the helicopter doesn't have a full charge, one motor will spin faster than the other, and it'll create problems. Once you have this out of the box, you put batteries in your transmitter and you charge your helicopter, you're ready to fly it. Usually these coaxial helicopters, these little micro ones, are a little bit nose heavy so that they always fly forward. I found that sometimes it makes them a little easier to fly, although you lose some forward speed if you balance them by putting a little weight back here. So what I've done to do that is I'll take one set of rotors and put them this way, the other set put them this way, and then I'll pick this up by the center, and I'll line this shaft up with something else that I know is level to see which way it's tilting. And then I've used paper clips and taped them onto this, taped them onto the back here to give it a little extra weight. If a whole paper clip is too much, I've taken a pair of pliers and snipped it down to get just enough weight so it's perfectly level. And if you do that, then when you take off, it'll hover in the same place and not go forward or back. Okay, so we're going to turn on our transmitter, we're going to turn on our helicopter, and see how it flies. Alright, so this one is trimmed pretty well right off the bat. It's spinning a little bit to the left. So since it's spinning to the left, I want to hit my right trim one time. And you'll see now it's spinning to the right. Sometimes you just have to get it as best you can. The other tricky part that took me a long time to figure out is to really get them to fly nice and straight. You would think that pushing directly forward on the stick would make them fly straight, but not so. I found that a lot of times it's more like a 1 or 2 o'clock position And what I'll do to get it to fly straight is I push forward on it and I'll kind of roll it back and forth until I find right where it flies straight. And then once you're flying straight and you're going and you want to turn, it's a real subtle motion to the right or the left. And that once you get that fine control down and figure out where your specific helicopter will fly straight, you'll really be able to control where it goes. And so let's fly this around a little bit. So now to make this fly straight, I have it about the 1 o'clock position. And I'll bring it back, and since mine's a little bit nose heavy, I'll give it just a little bit of backwards stick here to make it stay still. Try to land it right back in front of me where we started from. And there you go. So that's the micro coaxial helicopter. These things are a lot of fun. They're really durable. This thing's probably been crashed 100 times, and it still flies great. Every once in a while I'll check these blade grips here and make sure the screws are tight. You'll notice when they start to get loose, it won't have as much lift. You'll notice that it won't fly as smoothly. And so there you go. Have fun.